can offer on the table. Will they succumb to fear and pressure, or will they be able to activate that underdog mentality to help them fight? It's either going to be that one of the two. But again, having to pick two maps and of course two modes is going to give them the chance to win twice and have the advantage over and against Smart Omega. But here we go, Garena CODM Master Season 2 group stage. This is going to be day 1, match number 2, C8 Stealth and Smart Omega. About to play this hardpoint standoff. Stasho, AJ, take it away.
Thank you very much, Kelly. But you know, I have to say, man, I am a little shocked that Takeoff was the choice of Smart Omega for the SND. I don't know if that's going to be enough to catch C8 Stealth off guard, because they have most definitely proven themselves in the past to play Takeoff quite well. Whoopi stepping on in to get the hurt done, but not inside, but outside of the hard point. They're all keeping this clean for the time being, just pushing the matchup back and forth. But going back to the point I was making, it's a very interesting approach that Smart Omega is taking in terms of the map pick, and I think we might see a different side of the team this time around. I mean, we have to, right? They've been disappointed way too many times to not step back into the fray with a little bit of change in the lineup as well as strategy.
That's the change in the lineup. I really have to point it out. Rage is going to be in for Smart Omega, and that's going to amplify their offensive power even more, especially that close range engagements. But for the meantime, with this P1 rotation, it's 13 and 20. Scrap time will not be secured by both of the teams, as they will try to prioritize the second hardpoint rotation. Iron is going to defend and going to take the stand, but she's going to get taken down. And for this hardpoint, it's about to open up, and it looks like it's going to be Smart Omega opening it up, and C8 Stealth trying to take the breaks, but they're going to get flushed out, and the zone defense already in for Smart Omega. AJ.
That's Smart Omega, man. I mean, you saw that double challenge come through there. This was no money kill in any way whatsoever. But Smart Omega going in there for the super early rotation. C8 Stealth kind of committing for the exact same. But Smart Omega, they were the last ones there. Technically, the second ones there. But obviously, the first ones to open up that hard point. And from that point on, C8 Stealth hasn't been able to break it until this very moment. Good plays, 20 seconds to go. And they will be able to pick up all the points, because Smart Omega, they've abandoned that side. They feel like they've picked up enough points at P2 to double back down into P3 now for a super early setup. And the most important thing to do when you drop in for the early setup is not jumping into that hard point, but to control the spawns. You need to be able to secure the spawn over at the third hard point. And that's exactly what you can see player 1 as well as player 4 doing. You need to hold onto the vehicle right outside to make sure your team members jump right back in there. But C8 Stealth, my goodness me, halfway through me speaking, they break that to perfection. And Smart Omega, they're scattered all over the map now.
Yeah, Smart Omega really scattered all around, so this individual run fight should be won by yours truly, Smart Omega. But talk about how C8 Stealth just suddenly sneaked inside that hard point and took over. But then again, Smart Omega, as soon as I say it, they will be inside his hard point, and they will be able to get the second break that they need to score the points and hold these points inside this hard point. Final 30 seconds, still plenty of time. You see C8 Stealth spawning in only one side of the map, and this is going to be a lot easier for the boys of Smart Omega to isolate and slay all the players that will be spawning in that tractor spawns. But then again, final 13 seconds, you see it here. Smart Omega, they will put one player inside the hard point, but with Hardzy taking that man down, that leaves no player here inside this hard point, because Smart Omega, they will be stacking their resources all the way to the next hard point rotation.
For anybody that wants to do their full research on how to improve in hardpoint at standoff, I highly encourage you to re-watch this gameplay, especially as to how Smart Omega allowed C8 Stealth to break their hold at that third hardpoint at Granny's house moments ago. We were talking about how important it is to hold on to the spawns. None of their players were holding on to the spawns well. They overextended into private backyard. They backed away right back into Granny's as they started losing gunfights, and that spawn was given away. But they managed to recover as well, and that's exactly how they held on to those final points. Early rotation into Bakery, on the other hand, did not prove to be fruitful, as C8 Stealth stepped right back up onto the plane and crushed them and leave them in the dust. Kendi pulls out the Annihilator, trying to take over the situation, misses that one shot, needs to be able to secure the second, but gets stunned halfway through, and Chroma finishes him off with the CBR. Hunter Killer drone for the pop as well, not going to be finding anybody just yet, but Chroma now turns around at the wrong moment, gets backstabbed, and Smart Omega right back in, but just for a few points, just 3 seconds, and now the reset of the hard points right back into Hotel Yard we go, Gally.
Back to the Hotel Yard we go. It's a pretty tricky and it's a pretty grindy first set of hard points here. You see Smart Omega getting that early rotation, but see, it's still, they always manage to create that break enough for them to contest and of course keep this game close. And this P1 rotation right here is going to be the turning point of the game. It's a matter of who will control this, because eventually you're going to see the team who will be able to get that 100-point mark, and it looks like it's going to be Smart Omega getting that first 100-point mark. They will be soaking more time inside the show. See, still, they need to get inside his hard point. Iron Fist leading the team. Now here comes Annihilator. He's going to take one more player inside his hard point. They create the break. And this has been happening for quite some time, but the cluster strike from Smart Omega is going to help them reset back that momentum, and it's giving them even more points inside the hard point.
Yeah, let's see exactly what they will be able to do with this. That cluster strike coming in at the very right moment. It's all about the decision making as to when you pull that out. And Smart Omega, most definitely, they reap the benefits out of that timing. But now it's not going to be finished off at the P1. We have to double back into P2. And the players of Smart Omega crushing CH Stealth on the way there. Fight after fight, they win. Candy holding on to the gas station as well. Nobody's going to be able to get past his CBR, but Chroma finds that backstab, only to be traded right back out by Whoopi. That Mac 10 supremacy. Cookie takes himself out of the equation, but this is already the final moments of the game. And CH Stealth all too far away to take the hill right back. Smart Omega finishes it off 150 to 86.
Yeah, that's going to be a great start for Smart Omega. They were able to dictate the flow of the game. As soon as we start the game, they were always the one initiating. And it's always CH Stealth, always the one chasing them. And once they started to use that operators, once that cluster strike was used at P1 rotation, that's where they amplify and scored and pulled away against CH Stealth. And that was just amazing plays for Smart Omega. Everybody did their thing. And Ether is going to be the MVP here for this hardpoint standoff. The game is really close at that first set of hardpoints, but then we move into the reset. It's all Smart Omega, 86 to 150.